Good evening and welcome, everybody. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to join us for this public hearing tonight. Tonight's hearing is for an EGLE permit application for Michael DeMille, Statewide Jewel, LLC, for a stormwater detention basin in Genesee County. My name is Ryan Blazik. I'm with EGLE's Environmental Support Division. I'm just going to be helping to moderate this public hearing tonight. But first, we just have to go through a couple logistical things before we get started. This is what the agenda is going to look like tonight. Starting off with the introduction, which we're doing right now. And the big thing to keep in mind is this public hearing is going to have two parts. We're going to start off with an informational session. That's where EGLE or the applicant are going to take a minute to describe the proposed project. After that, we followed up with the question and answer session. That should go no later than about 6:30. And then at that time, or once we get through all the questions, we'll move on to the actual hearing portion. And that's where you're going to have an opportunity to make a statement for the record on this application and project. And then everybody will have a chance to make a statement. We'll go through how we're going to do that and the instructions for that in a little bit here. And then we're going to wrap up with who to contact if you have further questions. In case you haven't done a hearing with us before, virtually, all lines are going to be muted during this hearing, so you'll be able to hear us. We won't be able to hear you. You can submit questions anytime using the Q&A box in the Zoom toolbar. We will have this designated question and answer session to answer those questions. And then also we are recording this hearing. So the recording will be posted on our YouTube channel in a couple of days. So you'll be able to watch it again at that time, or you're welcome to forward it on to others if you'd like. With that, I would like to invite our other EGLE staff on the line to turn their mics and cameras on and introduce themselves.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Brittany Beavers. I'm the hearings officer for tonight's public hearing, and I'm out of Lansing District Office. I'm the environmental quality analyst who covers Genesee and Lapeer counties for permitting for wetlands, inland lakes, and streams.
Hi, and I'm Jeff Pierce. I'm the district supervisor for the Lansing and Jackson district offices.
All right, thank you, Brittany and Jeff. We're going to move right into this informational session. If there is a representative for the applicant who's on the line right now and you'd like to say a few words, just go ahead and you can raise your hand in Zoom and we'll unmute you so that you can make a statement or say something about the project that you'd like. If not, then it doesn't look like I'm having any raised hands at this point. So Brittany, would you want to say a couple words about the project?
Yeah, Ryan. Can you pull up the overhead plans, please? So, and the image on the right shows the overall scope of the project, which includes 90 multifamily residential units. And the part of the project that's the topic for tonight's hearing actually is located in the southern portion of the project site, and that includes a stormwater basin constructed in upland and designed to treat stormwater and then discharge that treated stormwater to Thread Creek and the adjacent wetlands.
All right, thank you, Brittany. All right, so we do not have a representative for the applicant. So if you have any questions for our EGLE staff on the project that was received and the application, you feel free to do that now. This is your opportunity to ask a question. You will have an opportunity a little bit later on to make a statement on this project and application as well. But the period right now is for asking a question. And you can do that either by submitting your questions in the Q&A box, which you'll see at the bottom of your screen like we talked about before. If you'd like, you can also click the hand icon at the bottom of your screen. And what that'll do is it'll raise your hand in Zoom, and then we can call on you and unmute you, and you'll have an opportunity to ask your question to the EGLE staff. Or if you're on the phone, and we may have some phone-in callers, you're welcome to type #2. And what that'll do is it'll raise your hand in Zoom. We'll call on you by the last 4 digits in your number, and we'll unmute you, and you can unmute yourself and ask your question. So are there any questions tonight? We'll give it a few seconds here to give you an opportunity in case you do have a question. And then, like I said before, if we have none that come in, we're just going to move on to the next part of the hearing for tonight. So still not seeing, and just to clarify, we won't have another question and answer session tonight, but what I will do if a question comes up later on, I'll provide Brittany and Jess contact information so that you will be able to contact them after the hearing at a later time to ask your question. All right, so I'm still not seeing any questions, so we are going to go ahead and move on to the next portion of the hearing tonight. But before we do, I want to let you know and make sure you're aware there are other ways that you can make an official comment for the record on this project. That's through, one way is through our My Enviro database or SIS application system under submission HPR 4JQD A298T at this link. And what we'll do is we're going to put that link in the chat so that you'll be able to access it. And then you can also submit a comment by mail. So that can be to EGLE Water Resources Division, Lansing District Office at 525 West Allegan Street, P.O. Box 30473. And again, that's 525 West Allegan Street, P.O. Box 30473, Lansing, Michigan 48909. And the comment period after the public hearing will be open for 10 days, which will take us to July 8th. So that's how long you have to make an additional comment. And just so you're aware, I will be showing this slide again in case when you're giving comments, you run out of time or you have additional comments, you'll see this slide again and can follow up with another comment. All right. So with that, I'd like to invite Brittany to read the opening statement for us tonight.
Thanks, Ryan. Good evening, everyone. My name is Brittany Beavers, and I'm the District Representative in the Water Resources Division, or WRD, of the Michigan Department of Environment, Great Lakes, and Energy, or EGLE. I will be serving as the hearings officer for this public hearing on EGLE submission number HPR-4JQD-A298T. With me tonight is Jeff Pierce, our Lansing District Supervisor. To describe how this is going to work tonight, I will begin with some background information about why we are here tonight. I will then describe the purpose of the hearing and how your comments will be used. Following that, I will outline the procedures under which we will take your comments and then describe what will happen after tonight's hearing. It will then be time for you to provide comments, and we will spend the majority of time tonight listening to those comments. At the end of the hearing, I will read the closing statement. By way of background information, the WRD is responsible for administering a variety of programs that help protect inland lakes and streams, wetlands, floodplains, sand dunes, and the Great Lakes. These programs regulate certain activities such as dredging or filling a lake, stream or wetland, constructing a dam, constructing a marina, placing shore protection or constructing docks, and building in a designated critical sand dune area, wetland, or floodplain. The law governing those responsibilities is the Natural Resources and Environmental Protection Act, 1994 Public Act 451 as amended, or NREPA. We are here tonight because Michael DeMille of Statewide Jewel, LLC has proposed the following: to construct a stormwater detention basin in upland that will discharge to Thread Creek and the adjacent wetlands for the associated 90-unit Queens Highlands residential planned unit development. The detention basin will include an outfall structure with approximately 480 linear feet of 36-inch diameter pipe that will discharge the treated stormwater to the stream and the wetland via land overflow. In order for a permit to be granted, EGLE must find that the proposed activities described in the public notice meet certain criteria set by Part 301, Inland Lakes and Streams, and Part 303, Wetlands Protection of Act 451. In general, we must consider the effect of the proposed project on the stream and the wetlands. When reviewing an application for a permit under the provisions of Part 301 of Act 451, EGLE is charged to make the following considerations as required by Section 30106 of Part 301. 1, the department shall issue a permit if it finds that the structure or project will not adversely affect the public trust or riparian rights. And 2, the department shall not grant a permit if the proposed project or structure will unlawfully impair or destroy any of the waters or other natural resources of the state. Likewise, when reviewing an application for a permit under the provisions of Part 303 of Act 51, EGLE is charged to make the following indications as required by Section 303(1)(1) of Part 303. A permit for an activity listed in Section 303(04) shall not be approved unless the department determines that the issuance of a permit is in the public interest, that the permit is necessary to realize the benefits derived from the activity, and that the activity is otherwise lawful. A permit shall not be issued unless it is shown that an unacceptable disruption will not result to the aquatic resources, and that a permit shall not be issued unless the applicant also shows either of the following. First, the proposed activity is primarily dependent upon being located in a wetland, and second, a feasible and prudent alternative does not exist. The purpose of tonight's hearing is to give anyone interested in the project proposed by Michael DeMille of Statewide Jewel LLC an opportunity to provide information that EGLE can use in making the decision whether or not to issue a permit. Please recognize that EGLE can only use the information you provide if it relates to the criteria that EGLE must use in making a decision. Some of you may simply want to express your support or opposition to the project. We will be happy to make note of your position, but please understand that EGLE is, by law, not allowed to base our decision on whether or not there is a widespread support or opposition to the project. In just a moment, I will outline the procedures we will use for taking your comments. But before I do so, I need to mention that the notice of this hearing was published in the Flint Journal and mlive.com on June 8th of 2023. As we discussed at the beginning of the informational session, if you have a comment to provide, raise your hand in the Zoom toolbar. To ensure that the hearing is conducted in a fair manner, we will follow the following steps. First, the applicant and/or their consultant has already had an opportunity to describe the proposed project. Second, we will then call on those who have indicated in their registration that they would like to speak. After that, we will call on all those that raise their hand in their Zoom toolbar that they would like to make a comment if they haven't already been called upon. As a reminder, if you are participating in this hearing via telephone only, follow the directions of the moderator on how to identify that you would like to make a comment. You may also submit your comments to EGLE via the MyEnviro portal, email, or US mail. When all the comments have been completed, we will ask if anyone else would like to make a statement. When your name is called, your microphone will be unmuted. As you begin your comments, please state your name and any group or association you may represent. Each person will be given 5 minutes to make their comments. We will indicate to you when you have a minute left. Please begin wrapping up your comments and end within the allotted time. If need be, we will indicate when your time is ended. I ask that we all be courteous and respectful to one another tonight. Please also recognize that EGLE staff is here tonight to provide a fair opportunity for you to express your comments on the proposed project and to listen to those comments. This hearing is being recorded and your comments will be a part of the information EGLE will consider in making its decision on whether or not to issue a permit on the proposed project. The public comment period for this hearing is open for 10 days from the date of this hearing and ends on July 8, 2023. Additional information and comments submitted in writing during the 10-day public comment period will also be considered in EGLE's decision. Following the close of the public comment period, EGLE will make a decision to either issue a permit for the project as proposed or with modifications, or send a letter of denial. You may find out what the decision is by checking EGLE's MyEnviro portal website and searching for the application number HPR-4JQD-A298T. Thank you for your attention. We will begin calling the names of those who have indicated that they would like to make a statement.
Yeah, thanks for reading that, Brittany. As Brittany mentioned, we'll start with the people who during registration indicated that they wanted to make a comment. However, we did not have, we had people register, but no one who indicated they wanted to make a comment. So we're going to move directly into people who would like to make a comment, who are on the line. As Brittany mentioned, if you have a comment you'd like to make, you have Everyone will have a 5-minute period, up to 5-minute period. And all you have to do is raise your hand in Zoom. You'll see the raise hand icon at the bottom of your screen. Just click that and we'll unmute you. You'll have a chance to make your comment, and then we will remute you and move on to the next person. Again, you can identify your name and any organization you're affiliated with as well. Is there anybody who'd like to make a comment tonight? We do have a handful of people who are on the line tonight. You're welcome to make a comment. If you feel more comfortable providing written comments, as I mentioned before, we'll provide that slide again on ways to do that. So with that, I'm just going to give it a couple more seconds here and let people have an opportunity to raise their hand and make a comment if they like. And as mentioned before, we had the Q&A session earlier, so we will not be answering questions, but this will be the portion where you can make a statement to EGLE staff and for the record on this project and application. All right, I'm still not seeing any raised hands. We have some people in the audience, but no raised hands. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the next part of the hearing, since we don't have any comments that people would like to make. So Brittany, would you please read the closing statement for this hearing part tonight?
Yeah. Thank you for your comments and cooperation. We appreciate your interest in the proposed project and that you took the time to be here tonight. As indicated at the beginning of the hearing, you may submit additional written comments until July 8, 2023. Following the close of the public comment period, we will consider all comments received and make a decision on the proposed project. Just to remind those that may still want to submit a comment, comments can be submitted via MyEnviro portal, email, or US mail. The hearing is now closed. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Brittany. And as Brittany mentioned, there's other ways to make an official comment, even though we didn't have any raised hands tonight. Verbally make comments. You can make comments in writing by MyEnviro, which you should have seen in the chat. Submission number HPR 4JQD A298T, or by mail to EGLE Water Resources Division, Lansing District Office. And that's at 525 West Allegan Street, P.O. Box 30473, Lansing, Michigan 48909. Comment period after this public hearing is going to be open for 10 days, so you'll have until July 8th to make any additional comments. All right, in case you have any additional questions or any questions that come up or that you think of, you can contact Brittany and Jeff. You can contact Brittany at Brittany Beavers at 517-245-3063 or by email at beaversb3, BEAVERS B3 at michigan.gov, and that's Michigan spelled out, MICHIGAN, or Jeff Pierce. Jeff's phone number is 517-416-4297, or PierceJ2 at michigan.gov, and that's spelled PIERCEJ2 at Michigan, MICHIGAN.gov. And with that, Jeff, I'm wondering, we're ready to wrap up, but do you have any closing comments for us tonight?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, we really appreciate everyone taking the time out to come to the hearing. The public comment process is an important step in our process for reviewing an application. Even in cases like this where we might not get any public comments right now, it's still important for us to go through that process, make that available to the public if they need to talk with us. Anyone on the line that does want to speak with us later and submit a comment, just follow what Ryan was showing you earlier. But again, thank you all for attending.
All right, thank you, Jeff and Brittany, for being on our panel tonight, and for everybody who attended. This will end the hearing. What we'll do is, again, post the recording in a couple days to our YouTube channel, and it will be available at that time. So with that, I hope you all have a great rest of your evening. Good night.